officially sprung, and in the spirit of all things new, vibrant and colourful, we bring you the brand new TRENDZ Travel. Sporting a new look, new feel, new time slot, and most exciting of all, some amazing new features. Starting with the Gaborone International Music and Culture Week, which is off to a great start with US sensation Music Soul Child headlining the opening. The organisers of the event have added some new additions to it, which include some of South Africa's great musicians.
It was a mixture of cultures and personalities as Botswana's capital Gaborone celebrated its first champagne picnic. Revelers were treated to only the best champagnes and a variation of gourmet meals new to Botswana. Another exciting feature was an opportunity for locals to dress up and show their fashion sense.
So we are here in Botswana at Waka Gardens, enjoying champagne, picnics, and having a nice time here. It means that we get to cross cultures, like you guys from SABC are here to cover the event, and also because it's a cultural week and a cultural event, so we're here to exchange different cultures at the champagne picnic.
I'm happy. It's nice to see people all dressed up. For Botswana, there's a big deal for us. Harana the event that's in we get opportunity to really go all out.
Well, I'm excited. It's my first time here. The setup is beautiful, the vibe, I love it. I'll be back next year for sure.
The onset of spring has gotten many excited, particularly on the fashion front.
All I said to my designers was the theme is all things spring. So I gave them the complete creative freedom and they made it, and I loved the outcome. So yes, my dress is made by two local designers. They're a design duo called Eccentric Style Loft.
As you know, the theme is spring, something to do with spring. So I just picked something from the wardrobe, shorts, flops, so that the air can come in, something springish, so that we are not too formal, no jeans, no t-shirts, nothing tight, so that we enjoy the spring.
The organizing team says it is impressed by the turnout and the direction the festival is taking.
It's grown a lot because when we started we were only doing 3-4 shows a week. Now we have 8 shows a week. So we are covering pretty much what we believe is all genres in the music and art space as best as we can. We have also been able to attract a lot of international followers and a lot of international visitors, a lot of international artists that have performed at GMC. So it's growing in the region. It's now becoming well known in the region as well.
The jam-packed international festival included comedy and theatre nights, as well as traditional music and dance festivities. It concluded with acts by top South African entertainers Somizi, Lady Zama, Nastasy and Java.
As you know, September is National Heritage Month, so why don't you let us know how you celebrate it by hitting us up on Twitter or on Instagram on Trends on SABC using the hashtag TrendzTravel. Right now, the Njubula takes us to see a little bit of Polo.
Just under 1 week to the spring-summer season, the Inanda Cup hosted its annual SABC Polo Cup in the heart of Sandton. Guests were treated to a 5-star lodge where VIP status was the order of the day. There was good food, overflowing expensive champagne, and of course the main attraction, the horses. We chatted with the host of the day to give us more insight on the event.
Today we're at the SABC Inanda Africa Cup. It's the 8th one, and as you can tell, South Africa's creme de la creme of society have come out. Of course, enthusiasts of polo and horses are here too to spectate, and we're here in the heart of Sandton, which is actually quite an interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? The fact that we've got this beautiful field out here in one of the busiest cities in Africa, but it is a spectacular day. The sun is out, the wind is blowing, but that's okay because we're here to enjoy and to just spectate this beautiful sport.
Like any other sport games, there are rules, and this polo event was no different. Top African polo players made up the teams vying for the trophy.
Right now, behind us, the final is going on. It is Nigeria versus South Africa. Who you think I'm going to be supporting, honey?
South Africa.
Hell yeah!
A polo game is played between 2 teams with 4 players on each side. The match is approximately 1.5 hours long, and it is divided into 7-minute time periods called chukkers. Breaks between chukkers are 3 minutes long with a 15-minute halftime. So what would a polo game be without fashion? And this year's theme was African beats.
So the theme is Africa Beat, and I love anything African. Of course, it's any chance to celebrate our country, our culture, our continent. Now, Africa Cup, as you can tell, is all about all the African teams. There are a few African countries that have been invited to come play, and then some South African teams as well. So it's really about polo in Africa. This is the sport of kings, as is affectionately known, and indeed it really is played by some of the most incredible sportsmen, because you have to be really, really strong to play this game. The horses are extremely powerful, agile. It's actually very scary if you've ever been on a polo pony. And yes, so we're here to celebrate polo in Africa.
And just like that, the fun was over. The game ended with the score of 5-3. Congratulations to Team South Africa.
We will be back with more of Trends Travel right after this very short break, so don't go anywhere.
More than 100 heads of state and government are expected in New York for the high-level segment of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly. The largest gathering of presidents and prime ministers anywhere on the planet. Some familiar faces won't be returning for the first time in decades. Others will be making their debut at the prestigious gathering, while thousands of news media from around the world will be spoilt for choice.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
High-level meetings include the one-day Nelson Mandela Peace Summit on September 24th, including a donation of a life-sized Madiba statue to the UN. The general debate starts on September 25th, while side events include a focus on eradicating tuberculosis, controlling non-communicable diseases, non-proliferation, and financing for the 2030 Agenda.
The world is counting on all of us to rise to the challenge before it is too late.
The SABC Foreign Desk will bring you comprehensive coverage of UNGA 73. SABC News, impartial and independent.
Welcome to the brand new look of Trends Travel, and as always, I'm your host, Eloise Scobel. Now, as you know, we love to take you on amazing adventures throughout our beautiful country, and today is no different as we take you to the small town of Philippolis, which you might have missed on your way to or from Cape Town. For most, the drive through the Kruger is just an endless journey with not much to see, and Colesberg is the stopover on a trek along SA's N1. But if you paid attention, you would see the beauty in its vastness and falling shadows. And just a short detour away is a hidden outpost that takes travelers on a journey into the past. This is Philippolis. We arrive well after nightfall, and there is literally nothing to see as darkness and no electricity swallows any hope of scenery. Our accommodations at Teindam are proudly bushveld, for lack of a more descriptive phrase. The wild African prints, an interesting wall and tableside decor. But being dependent on solar power, it was bedtime to preserve the energy. Waking up in Philippolis is an experience all on its own. An immediate sense of stillness overtakes. A quiet that one could never fully imagine or take in, of slow, quiet lives untroubled by the outside world. A forlorn rusty gate and a wire fence is all that separates you from the boundless road. It is endless and relatively empty in all directions. A perfect time and place for a reflective stroll with the only companion I could find. And of course, a selfie or two.
Even in Teindam, we are actually in for farming with the dorpers for meat, and it's intensive farming. So we feed with such called box with grass that we let grow. And yeah, then we also have our accommodation set up, the 2 bungalows, and further down we are in preparation also to get our Hottentots boot. It's a real Karoo farm set up for families that are interested to have an experience here in the really rural area of the Karoo. Experience here that you can expect is the life balance, the quietness, getting back to your senses, opening your eyes, ears, nose, you know, really starting to feel the nature and everything, and to wake up your whole body system and to calm down out of that city hum-bum. There are plenty of places that, you know, having a walk or jogging. Those that are in botanical, there are many aloes that we've got out here, several different species of the Karoo plants. So yeah, that's, you know, back to nature again. We kindly invite everyone to come to Philippolis and yeah, enjoy Philippolis, and for sure come to Ebenezer TRENDZ. We welcome everyone and looking forward to have you here.
Exploration of TRENDZ reveals true farm life, especially for us city slickers, with real-life sheep roaming around. And then there are the twin sheep babies sitting cozily in the pen. They also have their very own domesticated bokkie, and even what I can only assume are guinea fowl. A favorite for me are the family dogs that overwhelm with happy wagging tails and bouncy excitement, each wanting my attention. It was a while of petting and stroking. Then it's time to hit the road. On Voortrekker Road, the town's main street, Victorian houses huddle together. This is another world, a place time forgot, a living historical photograph preserved in sepia dust.
There we've got Lawrence van der Post Memorial in memory of Lawrence van der Post. He was born here in Philippolis, grew up, and yeah, had also a major impact on Philippolis. The beautiful church is our NG Kerk, which is originally rebuilt on the old Griekwa church premises. So the cornerstones are identical from the Griekwa church to the NG Kerk. So Oom Jaapie's house on my left-hand side is architectural structure, and Oom Jaapie those days he purchased the property and revamped everything, and he was rewarded with an architectural prize given to him. Further down are our Griekwa cannons that were given to Philippolis. We received 2 of them in memorial of the Boer War and all the activities of the Anglo-Boer War around Philippolis. And then we've got the Emily House Memorial Garden that has been given through a family here from Philippolis. They take care of that memorial garden.
For me, a highlight and a must visit is the Kunsgalerij, more commonly known as Jophuis. Housed here is a permanent exhibit of 25 contemporary paintings by artist Rina Coetzee based on the biblical books of Job and Lamentations. She tells me how these paintings express her struggle with depression and anxiety. A visit to this house takes one on a journey of coming in contact with oneself, one's emotions, and the discovery of inner peace. The Blue Room, as I call it, offers an opportunity for solitary meditation and the expression of one's emotions, where chairs are placed for those wanting to sit and meditate or just release, with the most marvelous paintings to assist in meditation. All in all, a visit to the Karoo is really an excursion into tranquility and finding peace and balance, a place to quiet the soul. And Philippolis is a town that creeps under the skin and embraces your soul.
Hey travellers, we at TRENDZ Travel are committed to bringing you the best travel destinations, and you cannot call yourself a traveller if you haven't travelled this vast, beautiful country of ours. And today we find ourselves in the little town of Philippolis, where it's rich in history and it's a must-see, so you have to come out here and have a look.
Now that was some crazy cold weather down in the Karoo. Generally it is nice and warm, so why don't you go down there and have a look and let us know what you think on TRENDZ on SABC using the hashtag TRENDZTravel. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. We'll be back with more of TRENDZ Travel right after this.
You 1,000 angikhona ukuhlala 2 weeks ngayo. I spend 60 rand, return 820, and I work every day, 5 days. Wunzi.
These people cannot continue to hold those offices of government, and also we are calling for them to be removed.
Due to your negligence, many people have died. You must go to jail for murder.
If you want our vote next year, make sure that you do what you are supposed to do.
Where am I going to sleep now? What about my kids?
There is bribe involved because we are not aware that they will come today.
People are being evicted about 2 months ago in May. We served the first court order. This is private property.
They came to us with a truck that has no water.
How do we build these shacks in a way that we don't have a fire spread when we have a fire incident?
Welcome back to the new look of TRENDZ Travel. Now coming up is one of the exciting new features I told you about. Colleague Njabulo met with songstress Cara Fru in her home in Sandhurst to find all about her love for music, her love for traveling and what she loves to do in her spare time. And boy did she have a surprise for him. South African-born singer and songwriter Cara Fru is one of South Africa's promising exports, gaining traction in the international music scene.
Whoa, I'm waiting for my phone to blow. See, I've been waiting.
Fru broke into the music industry after she competed in the 2013 Idols SA. Less to say, she didn't win, but that didn't stop her music journey.
So get up, let's get on it.
Seems so long ago, but wow, it was actually an amazing experience. That really was a point in my career that kicked me off because I was not in two minds about doing music, but I wanted to do it seriously, but I didn't really know how to. And that was one of my first tastes into the real music industry and how it could be if I really pursued that. And so it was amazing. Although I didn't get to win the competition, I learned so much along the way, and I think that's really all that matters at the end of the day because I'm still here. I'm still doing it, I'm still writing, and now I'm actually signed to Sony Music Entertainment worldwide.
Fru has collaborated with some of the big names in the music industry, such as US-based DJ Sunburn and Blue Jay, and our very own award-winning DJ Black Coffee.
Sort of exactly what happened. I met Black Coffee a couple months after that, actually, and yeah, the whole journey started. And I was very, very lucky to be then featured on his album, and he also gave me a huge leg up. And I think that's also so important as artists who are established in the industry to really reach out to others who aren't, because that's how we create a sense of community and we learn from each other and we really grow a strong South African brand. And I think at the end of the day, although I am based internationally, I'm South African, you know, well, South African, UK, LA, but you know, it's good to fly your flags high, whatever they may be. These are all my colors that
But if she's not in studio or on her next flight to the US or the UK, you'll find her at her parents' backyard painting jeans. So let's get painting.
So we take some paint, we're going to mix it, we're going to give quite a lot actually. I'm going to give you a paintbrush, you can choose one.
Anyone.
So I mix it with water.
All right.
When it dries, it starts to crack a little bit.
Oh, yes,
so you need it to sink in your jean so that it's movable.
Okay, cool, yes.
So that's why we add some water. Okay. Normally I like it to be very smooth. So you've really got to mix it. No, you don't want any lumps. You want it to be really nice and smooth.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do one spray on your jean, okay, one splat, and then you copy me, okay? Okay, so what I do is I take a little bit, so it's a little bit on the top of it, okay?
Oh.
Do you want to try? Oh yeah, you can take mine, or...
Is it mine? I don't need to wait.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And so it's also your preference. Normally, for myself, I do more up here and then few splashes down there.
Yes.
But I actually love your detail there.
All right. Okay.
I love your detail. and I think, because I've never done men's before, but I think perhaps for you, but obviously it's your choice at the end of the day, maybe not too much.
True, at that, yeah.
Maybe a little bit less.
Yes.
Don't you think? I know, you're more for men's style.
Yes.
Okay, and then what I like to do is just take my brush and we just do some lines. Just to make it a little bit more interesting. Now I'm actually going to show you, just give you a few ideas of how you can wear the jeans, you know, with a tee or a jacket or high heels, flats, etc.
Okay, cool.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
I put some high heels on. I've actually decided to pair it with a shirt, a waist belt, and a nice jacket. This is a bit more of a funky jacket with a tail. I like a bit funky. But you can also pair it with something a little bit more classic, like this black jacket. Yes. Walking in the moonlight, your hand touches mine. Drunk on your smile, lost in your eyes, don't tell me I'm dreaming. I wait for the right time, you'll feel the same.
Over the last few years, the demand and popularity of African print clothing has skyrocketed, so much so that they caught the attention of the English market and are now lining the streets of London. Let's take a look.
African clothing has been a spark for identity for the people in the continent. Different tribes throughout the motherland pride themselves in their national dresses, which they use for ceremonies, special occasions, and their day-to-day dealings. There are many variety styles of attire, and the type of clothes play an integral role in fashioning the garment. The fabric often reflects the society in general, as well as the status of individuals or groups within communities. For instance, last year, we looked at Cameroon's traditional attire known as the togu.
It's high time we start consuming our own products. So firstly, the younger generation, celebrities and every other person is trying to consume products from Cameroon, and that tells you you're a Cameroonian, you feel like, okay, let me do what others do with their own fabrics in their country. So I think that is why everybody is getting into Togo fabric and the rest.
The fabric is a black heavy velvet. For fashion followers, buying and wearing it upon setting eyes on it is irresistible. In the corner streets of London, Jeka Fashion Enterprise portrays another African wax print, a pride from the Gambia. Jeka in the Wolof language means beautiful or elegant. Combined with traditional design and modern contemporary cuts, the street fashion is gaining popularity here. From this shop, you can find all sorts of West African-inspired attires for both men and women.
Well, to be fair, I'm sure when the business kicked off first, we were thinking it's going to be a specific kind of crowd. But when we started first, we started seeing different people from all around the world. We're based in Camden, we're a tourist environment, so you see Chinese people, Americans, Africans. So mainly there's not really a target. We just want to expand, we want to grow, we want to be something that people can be like, oh yeah, you remember Jeka, stuff like that. So it kind of gave us the hint like, there's a good time, this is a good time to start this.
Safi Kankare is the company's buyer in charge of sourcing for the fabrics for Jeka. She mostly selects the materials from this shop that stocks wax fabrics within London. After picking the best, they are sent to Serekunda for tailoring. Serekunda is the Gambia's busiest city.
Traditionally, African outfits, like the one I'm wearing currently, is usually very starched and very hard. And our clientele in Europe, specifically England, are looking for a much more softer fabric, a fabric that is flowy. So when I look for fabrics, I take into account the needs of our customers and also the style, the design that we're trying to create.
In the Gambia, such interventions have given the youth like Wasanu Mendi a scoop to work with the likes of Jeka Fashions. At the moment, he is learning more about tailoring along his father to grow greater heights.
A lot of youths are involved in the tailoring sector now. So like Gambia are expected to produce a lot of clothes in a year. So we will be able to ship more to the outside world. And you know, where Gambia is located in the world, like we are at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean and we are closer to everywhere.
Africa holds some of the world's best designs with her elite mix of fabrics. Even though this potential has not been fully recognized at the moment, Jeka and the other African enterprises abroad remain to be the continent's success stories, ready to expand their markets across the globe.
And that's all we have for you in our brand new edition of Trends Travel. We'd love to see you again next week on our brand new time slot, and we'd also like to know what you think and what you'd like to see more of. So why don't you hit us up on Twitter or on Instagram on Trends on SABC using the hashtag Trends Travel. We'll see you again next week.